Well, hi, everybody. This is Gary from Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark. Hey, I want to tell you about our show. Our show has been growing like you would not believe. We've been bringing on great guests that you would find, well, on that major show that is on later at night. Well, we have the same guests, well, hours earlier. In fact, in November, Night Dreams Talk Radio is going to be on from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific West Coast time, 8 p.m. to midnight Eastern time. We're going to try to bring 2 guests on each night. We're still going to have the round table for the first hour of the show before we bring the guests on. And then the last half an hour of the show, we're going to have the round table with closure of the show to go over what the guests, or the guests, both guests have said. Now, James, how you doing, my friend?
I am doing really, really good today, even though it's the first day of October that has been below 70 degrees, but it's okay. How you been?
I'm doing good. Why don't you tell the listeners, on this promo, how they can find us on some of the apps?
Well, you can go to, while we're in live broadcast, you can go to www.spreaker.com/show/Gary-Anderson-show. And you go on that app and you can talk live, chat with the guest or the host. You can also go to www.nightdreamstalkradio.com. And the other Spreaker app you can go on to and chat live. And again, you can ask the guest any question you want in real time, or you can ask the host, and that is https://www.spreaker.com/user/nightdream. Punch those in, and it links you right up. You can listen to the show and chat at the same time.
Well, that makes it easy, so they can sit there while we're doing the show. They can sit there and chat. Now, here's what the problem has been, James, is during the show, I get people going on Instant Messenger, and they're asking me questions on, chat, that direction, versus using the app on speaker. Now, the problem with that is I don't look at my phone on a constant basis. Now, when I'm on speaker, going to the internet live, I see people when they ask questions, and I can respond fairly fast. So if you take the time to email me or, send me an instant message through my telephone through like Facebook or something, I'm not going to see it. Maybe for 20, 30 minutes. So getting onto speaker would be the smart move to do. Now, we're not just on speaker. We're on iTunes. We're on iHeartRadio. We're on iPod. We're on Podbean. We're on virtually every app out there where you can, if you don't like iTunes, you can certainly go to another app and listen to our show. We're also on 22 different radio stations across the country. And if you don't find us on your radio dial where you live, hey, it's simple. Call up your local radio station you listen to and say, I want Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark on your radio station. Hey, that would be a big help, wouldn't that, James?
That would be. And, the more stations you get that hook us in, the more chances you have and outlets to tune into the show. Because, another thing, Gary, we are owning the early night. Yes. And another thing I want to say is if you do log into those Spreaker apps, I monitor those all through the show. So your questions will not be ignored. They will be answered in real time.
Well, the other problem is I'm finding out lately that we're overwhelming the Spreaker app. We're getting so many listeners that now what happens is they're either getting bumped off while they're listening to the show, or they can't log on, or it kicks them off 3 or 4 times during the show. It's because our listenership has been growing so drastically fast, and it's crazy.
It is really multiplying like a bunch of rabbits in a little box. I'll tell you, it's really taken off.
Well, let's substitute the little box with a huge box, because that's what it's going. I remember back. Oh, gee, when I first started doing this, I thought like 15 listeners was wow. Then it got up to a couple hundred, and I'm going, wow. Then it got up to thousands, and I'm going, wow. Now, between all the apps out there, we have a huge number of listeners. And again, we're just not on the Spreaker app. That's not my main app. We're on iTunes, iHeart, all the apps. We broadcast out for a service to the radio stations. Now, a lot of these radio stations, what do? They, besides transmitting on AM or FM on the radio dial, they're streaming the show out live through their radio station on the internet. So people are finding us there. What I'm finding now, running the servers out of my studio, everything is getting overwhelmed. The amount of bandwidth I'm using, it's crazy. I mean, it's a lot to do this show.
Oh, I can imagine. I can picture one big milkshake with about 100 straws in it, and it's just sucking the bandwidth right out of it. And, I got to say, maybe a little bit over 2 years, you went from 15 listeners to way more than a lot of things can even handle. And I got to say, that just doesn't happen. You have to have a quality show with quality guests.
Well, I'm waiting for the books to come out, here shortly with the radio stations. And each radio station is listed in the book, and it shows the host, what shows are on, what the hours of each show was on, and the listenership during that time frame. Now, what we're hoping to do, with the help of one station in San Diego, is that, you need to go on an hour earlier. So we'll be going on as of November 15th. We're going to be going on at 5 p.m. That's going to do? It's going to catch people driving home from work. They'll be able to, download it, tune it in, listen to it on radio stations at 5 o'clock rather than 6 o'clock. And we're going to go 2 hours, and we're going to try to get in a guest for 90 minutes and maybe another guest for an hour, but we'll still have that first hour of wacky news and roundtable. And at the end of the show, the last half an hour, we'll just kind of have a rehash of the whole night's show.
Yeah, I think that's a great concept and a great lineup. And I do think that the earlier hour, that really puts it right in the wheelhouse when people's on rush hour, like you're saying, and they can tune in because, let's face it, you're sitting in a traffic jam waiting to get home. What better can you do to pass time than to listen to a great paranormal talk radio show?
And let's face it, we talk about alien abductions, aliens in general, UFOs, ghost stories. We talk about all kinds of things, Bigfoot, cryptids, Mothman, Thunderbird. We talk about all this stuff, on a nightly basis. And then, we got a little touch of conspiracy on the show, too. I'm going to tell you that. We're not really political, but we kind of touch a little bit now and then. I have this thing about Earth changes. I see the future, and it's really scary.
Oh, boy. I know it is scary. I have a hard time figuring what's going to happen in the next 20 years with the population, because it all stems from that. Just consume. You consume so much, and then you produce a lot of waste, and it's just, I don't know if we can handle it.
Well, I tell you what, if I was only 25 years old, you know what I'd invest in? I would buy thousands of cases of water. And then by about 2040, right, I could probably sell each bottle of water, maybe for $20.
You ever see all them shows when the apocalypse happen, and it's the water that's always the money, so to speak, that they use. Water listen, without water, you can't survive. So think about that.
Yeah, I'm just also, things that's what we talk about on our show. And that's what makes the show really interesting. We also have Sam coming on, at the bottom of the hour, the first hour of the show, and then with James, and we just talk about, whatever the topic is that night. If it's UFOs or Bigfoot or giants or little people or, Earth changes. It kind of, we try to hit home on all these topics each night.
We do. And speaking of that, what's the topic tonight? Do you have any... What's going on tonight? You
would have to ask me that, and I don't even have the logbook in front of me. But I know the guest is Rob, and I'm trying to think his last name. We're going to be talking maybe about time travel, the UFOs, and stuff like that tonight.
That's something, and that's another thing. The time travel or UFOs, they pretty much have to be a time machine, if you think about it, to traverse back and forth to wherever they're going to. And, I believe it is on time travel. I'm going to look it up now. But, I'm looking forward to it. We haven't talked much on that kind of stuff yet, and recently.
I know. I wonder how many people are walking the streets that are from a different time. and just checking out our planet.
Yeah, really. You ever see some of them pictures where people they're caught like pictures from 80 years ago, and the guy's got or a woman's got like a cell phone, they think, and stuff like that. Oh, here's the guest tonight is Rob Shelsky.
Oh yeah, he is a great guest.
Yeah, he's going to talk time travel and invasion from Bob Shelsky.
Yeah.
So that's going to be good.
I think so. And he'll be on tonight at 7 p.m. Pacific West Coast time to 8:30 Pacific West Coast time.
I guess so. I'm on East Coast, so you got me all screwed up.
Yeah,
I know it's 9 o'clock on the East Coast.
Yeah, I think they should get rid of the time zones. I think it all should be the same time.
It's actually 6 o'clock Pacific time. Well, that's when we come on, but he comes on at 7.
Yeah, he comes on at 7. Where 6 o'clock is our roundtable wacky news. At 7, that's when Rob will be on to 8:30, and then we have the closure of the show for the last half an hour with you and Sam.
Yeah, and that's always good because it's like an epilogue of what the guests and what we talked about.
Yeah. Now, everybody, you can find our website at www.nightdreamstalkradio.com. Take a look at the website. Down at the bottom of the website, there is a player. Now, you can click on that player and you can listen to, a lot of shows. Doesn't cost you a cent. Some of these other shows make you pay for the archives. If you want to listen to a previous show, you got to pay. I'm old school. Radio should be free. And that's what it is. You'll never have to pay to listen to a prior show on nightdreamstalkradio.com. Now, if you want to donate, though, there is a donate button. And, every penny helps because I'll tell you what. My power bill alone is huge, let alone the bandwidth we use is huge. And feeding out to the radio stations is huge. So, any donation would not hurt.
That's right. And I don't know, are you still dispensing a nice brand new book on the paranormal? For
not this time.
Donation?
I'm going to do that around Christmas time. I actually got an idea that I'm going to give out a lot of books for Christmas. And you won't even have to donate anything. We're going to just have some little contests when, as you know, I don't have time to take callers on because the way the show format. I mean, maybe down the road, I'll maybe leave a day open where we can take, callers in to ask questions because now the radio stations, I'm sure people would be calling in. But, up to now, when I was doing an hour show, a 2-hour show, a 3-hour show, I'll tell you what, the time goes by so fast, I don't even have enough time to even ask questions, all the questions I want to ask to the guests. So maybe when we're doing the 4-hour format, we can sit there and figure one day a week, maybe for an hour or so, we can take in call-ins. What do you think?
Yeah, that sounds, I look forward to it. That'd be good. And I got to say, because I got a clear picture yesterday of everything you do at the same time. You're getting so many listeners. You're getting a lot of emails. You're getting so many emails, and you're one of those few like me. You answer every email, and you're getting so many. I don't know how you even have time to even answer them and run a show.
It's hard. I try, during the show, I do respond as many people as I can. But, when the show is over with at 9 p.m. Pacific West Coast time, I'm usually here for another 3 hours just answering emails. And then when I get up in the morning, I come in the studio and I spend another 3 or 4 hours answering emails. I pride myself by answering virtually every email I get.
Yeah, and I do the same thing. Of course, I don't get near what you get, but I got to tell you, that takes time to answer, 300 to 500 emails. It just does.
It does. Anyway, our time is up. I just want to say to everybody out there, I want to thank everybody that listens to Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark. Please share us on your media. Let people know, about Night Dreams Talk Radio. I want to thank you guys out there, that has made this happen. All the listeners off of Facebook, it shared it and told their other friends, and we developed listeners from that. The truckers out there. Without you, we wouldn't even be here. Seriously, I get so many emails from truckers that say that they download the show after it's over with, automatically download it. And then when they're out on the long haul, they tune in the prior show and listen to it, or they listen to it all night